Oh, right. I had never seen this movie before either, but this is an older movie, so I have less excuse uh, for than the last movie, Black Friday, because it's new. But this movie is 1984, I think. Sounds right, so I'm going to stand by that. And I have mainly good stuff to say about this movie. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I haven't seen that many films with him. In fact, I have only seen now this and Time Cop. Both are good. This was better than Time Cop, I think. But I did like Time Cop. But this was a better film, I think. We got to talk about the Mortal Kombat connection to this, though, because there is one. Jean-Claude Van Damme, the character Johnny Cage in the Mortal Kombat video game series, was originally based off of Jean-Claude Van Damme, and that's why Johnny Cage's moves, one of them is to do the splits and punch someone in the nuts, because guess what happens in this movie? Jean-Claude Van Damme does the splits and he punches someone in the nuts. That's a fun scene, slow motion scene. There's lots of fighting in this. So the plot of this is basically the plot of Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is a fighting tournament, so is this. And this takes place in Tokyo in this movie. It's called the Kumite, and it's a secret fighting tournament. At the end of the movie, it says this is all based on true story. I don't know how true it is. Like, if it's true that it was all secret and that people are dying and shit. I'm not sure how much of it is true, but like the championships and the records and stuff are all true. That he's breaking these karate records, or martial arts records, we should say, I guess, to be more vague. But yeah, Bloodsport, super cool, super fun, lots of fighting. It's over the top, 80s cheese, which is something that I like. But very few negative notes on this, but I'm going to give it one right now. So the music is good in this for the most part. It's an 80s movie, so you know what you're getting. You're going to get some 80s fucking tracks. But for one of the scenes, it didn't really work for me. Only one. For the most part, it was like, okay, this is an 80s movie. I'm okay with this. But this one scene is like a chase scene. Jean-Claude Van Damme's getting chased by these two guys. By the way, this is the plot line I'll talk more about, but for just the sake of the story, he is chasing Jean-Claude Van Damme, so it should be like a high-paced chase song, or so you would think, but it's like this really slow song, and it just does not fit for me. So yeah, that song choice I don't think was correct, but for the most part, the score is fun, and I didn't, not to even say that I didn't like that song. I love 80s cheese music, but it didn't fit there, in my opinion. But yeah, let's go back to that other plot. So yeah, we talked about the main plot, which is Jean-Claude Van Damme is in a tournament. That's very basic, the plot. I'll go into it a little more. So Jean-Claude Van Damme is entering this tournament because he wants to honor his Shindoshi, which I guess is basically like a sensei, and he wants to honor him because, and this part, I think they explained it, but I was a little confused, honestly. I don't know if they explained it that well. I didn't get that his real son, that Jean-Claude Van Damme, we see as a kid, they bond and train together and stuff, but I think, like, he dies, the son, at one point, but I didn't really get that. Like, it took me a while to get that. And so now Jean-Claude Van Damme is the one who is fighting in the Kumite, this tournament, in honor of the dead son of his Shindoshi, this sensei-type character. If any of that makes any sense, and I hope it does, because I'm going to keep on going. But yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme, obviously, he does the splits in this movie, like a bunch. That's his thing. That's what he does. He does the splits. And it was fun. It's funny every time. I talked about the punching in the nuts shot. That's classic. So yeah, I talked about the main plot. Whoa, ding dong. That might be the dog, too. The dog they have upstairs, Java. They, yeah, I think it was, or maybe not. Maybe it was someone else, but oh no, I think it was. I think the dog rang the doorbell. Anyway, the main plot of this is the tournament, but the other plot is, and again, this is something that's not maybe explained great, but it's not really important. What's important is Jean-Claude Van Damme going in the tournament and fighting and being badass. That's why this movie is good. But I don't know if they needed this extra plot of Jean-Claude Van Damme, I think, being in the army or something, and then these people wanting him to be in the army and go with him on this mission or something. It's not really clear what they want him to do. Maybe they explained it, but I was confused, or I just didn't care. Either way, I didn't get it that well. I just knew that they wanted him for something. Which I guess is all you really need to know, but still it's like, okay, I don't care about this. I just want to see him fighting in the tournament. And the tournament takes place over 3 days in the movie. And you kind of know who's gonna lose and who's gonna win. It's sort of predictable in that way. But the parts that aren't predictable, unless you've heard about it, is the way the moves happen and stuff, and the way that they finish the matches. But let's talk about a little bit of that. There's a character, what's his name? I want to say Frankie, but that's not right. Because that's I think the main character's name. There's another character that's like the big bearded guy. We're just gonna call him the big bearded guy. Because that's all I can think of right now. But he meets Jean-Claude Van Damme in a bus, I think, and right off the bat, you get sort of dickish vibes off him, but you're supposed to like him later, so that's a little confusing. Like, he's hitting on this woman, and she's like not interested. And to be fair, he respects his wishes and like stops touching her, but he's still like kind of rude and a dick. Like, he puts her feet up next to her. He's like, well, fuck you then. I don't give a shit. But then we're supposed to like him and care about it. But honestly, he's stupid and he fucks up so bad because they established that he's good at looking when his opponent is down and making sure he's down, because he does it in one fight, but then in another fight, he hits him and he gets his opponent down, but he clearly is gonna get up and he's excited too much. He just keeps running. He's like, oh yeah, I did it, I won, I beat it. And even people in the movie, like Jean-Claude Van Damme, were like, no, dude, look, he's gonna come. But he's still like, yeah, I'm the best, I won. Oh, I think this guy's name's Jackson. But he's like, yeah, I won, I'm the best. But he obviously didn't win, and his opponent gets up and beats the shit out of him. And his opponent, in this case, is the main villain for the movie, Chong Li. And let's talk about Chong Li, because it's kind of funny, because Chong Li, not Chun-Li. Chun-Li is a character in Street Fighter, another fighting game. But yeah, Bloodsport, this is basically Jean-Claude Van Damme's Mortal Kombat, basically. Which is the original intention for Mortal Kombat, was to have motherfucking... I think this was before Mortal Kombat, though. That sounds right. And then it was inspired, right? That's what I think. It was inspired by Bloodsport. Mortal Kombat was. Anyway, yeah, this movie's fun. It's a fun tournament movie. Respect the women. Respect the women. Poop. That's right. Never forget. What else am I saying? Yeah, that Jackson. He should have realized that he was gonna get up. But yeah, Chong Li. Thought it was kind of funny. It sounds like Chun-Li. It's not Chun-Li, it's Chong Li. Is the main villain. And this guy's got great facial expressions, going like, ooh, and stuff. There's some good scenes, fight scenes, and like breaking bricks with your hands. There's some good stuff. There's some good stuff in this movie. But what else should I talk about? I'm starting to run out of steam here talking about this movie, but yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme is great. Oh yeah, I know what I was there was something else I remembered. Okay, so Jean-Claude Van Damme obviously has an accent. Um, and I honestly forget exactly where he's from. I want to say it's European for sure. Is it German? I think it's German. Um, but either way, he has an accent. But everyone just acts like he's American because he always plays like the American guy. It seems like, but there's no conversation about like, oh, where'd you get that accent? There's never a line like that, and it would always help me if they like acknowledge it, because then you're like, okay, they know. But and I know they know, but I want them to let me know that they know. You know. Anyways, Bloodsport. It was pretty funny. Nobody's on here for the movie talk. That's fair. That's fair. It's just me talking about movies today, and that's okay. But yeah, I like this. I think I've actually run out of stuff to say, because I mentioned the accent, I mentioned the tournament, I mentioned the soundtrack, which was mainly good, but for one part, didn't really work for me. Oh yeah, there's a romance in this. I should mention that, I guess. It doesn't matter that much, but I'll mention it anyway. She's in it. There's a romance. The love interest. Not much else to say other than she's a reporter wanting to do a story on the Kumite, and of course she starts hooking up with Jean-Claude Van Damme. There's not much else to say about that. It's past 7. Bring out the jug. We're still talking about movies. I'm almost done. There's no concrete time slot for the jug, man, or for the movie reviews, for that man. The most concrete time slot is at the beginning, because the movie reviews start at 6:30, and motherfucking guitar starts at 5. But other than that, everything's loose, because movie reviews ends whenever, and then rapping ends at 9. Anyways, Bloodsport. I think we are done here. Let's wrap it up, pun intended. I'm gonna give this movie a strong, because I mentioned some problems, but they're all pretty minor nitpicks. I think this movie's solid. Like I genuinely enjoyed it. Not perfect, but super fun. I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 Dugs. Yeah, I'm going with it. 8 out of 10 Dugs for Bloodsport. So here is a beat I'm gonna put on. Here's Garage Boys. Here we go. The instrumental. Oh yeah. Okay. It's good. I like Bloodsport. 8 out of 10. It's good. You know? It's fun. No, actually, one more thing that I want to mention real quick about this movie. The effects are decently good. Obviously, they're all practical effects, to my knowledge anyway. But there's one where a guy's leg gets broken and the bone comes out, and right away I was like, oh, that doesn't look quite right. Like, I've seen practical effects similar to that look a little better. But it wasn't bad. Another minor note against it, but still, 8 out of 10. I stand by the 8 out of 10. So that's that.